Hi, it's Diederik here. My last video on getting a cat to the vet got a lot of views, and we received a lot of feedback and quite a few phone calls. Excuse my monsters. I don't know whether they came on camera or not, but two of my monsters are just playing here. So I'm doing another video about, Scaredy Cat No More. Scaredy Cat No More. Getting your cat to the vet, getting your cat into the practice. And this is a slightly different take on the other video. It interfaces, the two interface, but they are slightly different. So cats are the most popular pet in many countries of the world. And with the increasing overcrowding and the more living in cities and living in apartments and living in condos and living in smaller houses, their popularity is just going to constantly increase. Now, this popularity is really easily confirmed when you go on the internet and see all these photos and videos and memes, like I said, on the internet these days. Cats make up over 50% of pets in Australia, but they only account for about 20 to 35% of veterinary visits. So that raises the question, why? Well, the answer is very simple. For most people, just the simple act of bringing their cat out of the house and into their car and into the vet raises this huge emotional fear. They think about claws, teeth, carrier, screaming cat car ride, possibly even urine in the carrier. It's enough to freak most people out. As cat owners, we also have the thought that, especially indoor cats, they don't need regular veterinary care. They don't get sick, they don't need worming, they don't need flea control. Well, that's just totally, completely and utterly wrong. Cats are strong, hardy animals, and they are really brilliant. They're almost the best animal on the planet at showing that they don't need help. If they just had thumbs, their food bowls would never be empty again. They just wouldn't need us at all. Now, in fact, most cat owners don't notice the early signs of disease in cats because cats are experts at hiding their illnesses. They are the disease ninjas, if you want to put it that way. This is especially true if you have more than one cat. Subtle changes in appetite, subtle changes in litter box habits, subtle changes in activity can go unnoticed if you have other cats that pick up the slack. Cats have unique problems that quickly become life-threatening but are really easily managed if they're detected early. So these include things like diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease, feline lower urinary tract disease, resorptive lesions on their teeth, fatty liver disease, and chronic kidney disease. Now, most of those diseases that we vets see that the owner brings their cat in for, they'll have been going on for months and months, if not years, but the owner brings the cat in as soon as they've seen the clinical signs and say, oh, my cat's only been sick for a few days or a week. And yet we know that those animals have been sick for weeks or months when we do the blood test or the appropriate investigations. Now, my own cat hid bowel cancer for me until I suddenly noticed a dramatic weight loss. So it can happen to anyone, and I've got 4 cats, and so this one hid it really well. Cats are also highly susceptible to stress. When we're stressed, they become stressed. And during stress periods in our lives, it can be really easy to miss subtle changes in your cat's behaviours. Now, I want to talk about a huge misconception. Another common misconception is that the only reason for a cat to come in to see us vets is for their vaccines. Most people think that indoor cats aren't high risk of disease, so there's no need to be seen after those initial kitten visits. Well, vaccines are certainly important for their own reasons. For example, feline AIDS is fatal, and cats need to be vaccinated for feline AIDS every year if they're in the risk group. Now, beyond that, even if you dispense with the other vaccines because they're not necessarily fatal, an annual health check is super important just for its own sake, because an annual check a year is about 7 years in your cat's life. Now, an annual health checks are the single solitary biggest thing that you can do for your cat to ensure a long, happy, healthy, active life. Annual health checks are mandatory. Seeing your pet every year from kittenhood to adulthood is really important. And once your cat hits senior status, we need to see your pet twice a year. Now, subtle changes, we can find subtle changes really early when we know your pet well and when we're seeing them regularly. Now, regular checkups also give us the chance to check out normal blood tests. Now, we don't do blood tests on younger cats, but when they become senior, we'll start running a mini screen on a regular basis to check for things like early kidney disease or early diabetes. Now, when we detect those diseases early, we can make huge impacts on the course of that disease and hold them in check for a long time. It's when we don't get to those diseases till later in life, once they've become really advanced, that we're really behind the eight ball and there's not much that we can do. Cats may be disease ninjas on the outside, but their blood work will always give us the truth. Now, early diagnosis means longer life. Detecting kidney disease, liver disease, thyroid disease, or diabetes early through preventative health measures, annual health checks, or even simple blood screening can help us to make small changes now to your cat's diet, to its supplements, to its medications, to its lifestyle, or whatever. And this can prevent expensive, intensive care hospitalisation, or in the worst cases, maybe having to choose euthanasia in a time of crisis that could very definitely have been avoided. So now we know why your feline friend needs to come and visit, and that leads us on to the next step in the equation, how. Now, there's a reason that the all too real cartoons of getting pets into their carrier and into the car are so popular, and that is that in many cases it's true. Cats are really difficult to get into their carrier or into their car. So I'm going to share a few tips for getting your pet used to the carrier prior to coming in and seeing us. So firstly, start at least 2 weeks before your anticipated visit. The longer the better, but even if it's the same day, these couple of tips are going to be helpful, and therefore please apply them. Now, hard shielded top and bottom half carriers are the best. Now, and even with a top that will open and a front that will open. So if you've got a front door, a top door, and then a carrier that will pull apart in half, that is the ideal carrier for you. And they're incredibly cheap these days. So point 2, keep the carrier in your cat's favourite room at all times. Make sure it's clean of all cobwebs, and place, for example, a soft blanket or bed or towel inside that carrier that's going to make it more comfortable for your pet. Leave it maybe sitting in or on or near a sunny window sill or somewhere where your cat enjoys spending time. Cats love boxes, so you're trying to encourage your cat to actually use this as a sunny resting place. So hopefully your cat will learn to love the carrier. Number 3, place tasty treats inside the carrier every single day. Crinkle when you crinkle a bag, your cat comes running because he or she knows there's food. Well, crinkle a bag when you put the treats in there so that your cat knows there's something in there. Place a familiar toy inside the carrier as well. Or if the top opens, play with your cat in and around the carrier to encourage your cat to come nearer and get to love the carrier. Point 4, if your cat still won't come near the carrier, then there's a pheromone spray called Feel Away. Now, if you've got a cat, you know that your cat will rub its face against your legs or against you, and the cat's cheek produces this substance called a pheromone. So it's a scent that we can't smell, but cats smell it and it relaxes them. So it's like a Valium, if you like, except it's drug free. So you can get Feel Away and you can spray it inside the carrier, and that will help make your cat more comfortable with the carrier. Now, you can even come into us and we've got Feel Away spray, and we can spray that on a towelette for you, and then you can take that home and put it in the carrier to help with your cat's trip in. Or you can buy Feel Away wipes or spray all over the place. We can get it for you as well, or you can buy it in the internet. Number 5, for cats that still won't come near a carrier or get too stressed in the car, we can do home visits if you want, where we can at least visit your pet and do a full examination at home, and if necessary, if the cat needs to come in, we can then give you some medication that's going to de-stress your cat and or help you with transport. The other alternative transport method, of course, is a pillowcase, and if you want to know more about pillowcases, have a look at the other video. Now let's talk about the big day itself. Number 1, don't feed your puss cat for 6 to 12 hours before your visit. This will decrease the chance of, car sickness, motion sickness, and make your kitty also more likely to accept treats and special food rewards when visiting us. Number 2, once you get ready to go into the car, make sure your carrier is on a level surface. Once you're in the car, make sure that the carrier is on a level surface. Even if you have to put a folded towel on the deep end of the seat, to level it up and make it firm. Don't have a carnival ride of a car trip for your cat, because if your cat has a carnival ride to the practice, he or she is not going to want to come in the next time. Number 4, if your cat has a favourite toy, a hairbrush, a blanket or a treat, please bring that along with you, because that will make your feline friend feel more comfortable at the practice. Number 5, if you're really committed to the cause, just bring your cat in for random happy, free visits to the practice. So you can bring your cat in, we'll go into the cat room and he or she can play around there for a little while. Just give us a heads up phone call that you're coming, so that we can make sure that the cat room is available, and also that there's no dogs in the reception area. We can do a quick weigh-in at the same time. We can even do a quick nail trim for you. Bring your favourite treats along. Random car trips to see us and just random car trips in the car will help get your cat used to the carrier, used to the car, and then used to us. Number 6, if you have any troubles at all, please give us a call. Our Highlands Veterinary Hospital team is committed to making your visit with your cat or your dog as stress-free as possible. We're only always too happy to talk to you through how to make your trip in more easy and how to make your pet's individual visit. We can make individualised suggestion based on your cat or your dog's preferences. So I hope this video has been of use. If you've got any questions on anything else at all, if you struggle to get your cat in at all, please give us a yell and we'll be only too happy to help you out. Bye.